Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club, and we got a special guest in the building.
Yes, very important to note that we haven't had any guests. The last guest we had,
It's February.
March 22nd. It was Andrew Yang. That's the
Yang.
last guest we actually had in the building. So this is the first guest we've had since the whole pandemic and everything.
7 months. Seven
love.
months. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Reason.
I broke the curse.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope so.
Now I wanted to make an exception for you because I fuck with your music heavy. You know what I
appreciate
mean?
that, yeah.
I first noticed you on the freestyle with the LA Leakers when you noticed my skincare routine. And I thought,
Goodness gracious.
what inspired that bar? Reason?
You know, envy, actually. You know what I mean? I was just like, it all went together.
What happened?
Yeah.
Oh,
You didn't hear the bar, but it was dope. It was dope.
Yeah, I
as
thought
hell.
it was tight. It's funny because it's like the internet runs with so many things. There was actually people talking about like that I dissed y'all after that, and I'm just like, the internet is crazy. Yeah, no.
We've been dissed before. We didn't take that as a diss.
They think you diss everybody.
I think
you
I diss.
mentioned.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm at a point where every time I say anything about anybody, it's a diss. So I just like it is what it is at this point.
True indeed.
Well, that's a shame. But thanks for coming in person. I heard you were going to do the interview, and then you said, I want to come in the studio.
Well, yeah, I was talking to Charlamagne and Envy. You were late. You weren't on
No,
the
I wasn't.
Zoom yet.
I wasn't there that day. I wasn't there that day.
Oh, okay, got you. But yeah, I was telling them how I was coming to New York anyway to do like as little press as we possibly can with COVID and whatnot. And so I figured, it made sense if y'all was going to have me. So I appreciate this, even though this is crazy, this setup.
You said it looked like a Popeyes in the hood.
Yeah, like a Popeyes in the
That's
hood.
what I said. Look, a Chinese
Yeah,
spot,
when you
like-
pull up and they got the little glass because they don't want niggas to rob them. Yeah, that's what this
And
look
we got
like.
cardboard under it,
Yeah.
holding it up.
I
It's not
see.
even like nicely.
So let's talk about from people that don't know who you are. Let's talk about you signed to TDE.
Yep.
How'd you get into the rap game? How'd you get with TDE? Let's start from there.
Really just grinding a lot in LA. Like I was on the underground scene for a minute, and I was just one of them dudes that took any opportunity I could. Like if it was, I actually met y'all like a long time ago for Jackin' for Beats. I was in
I
that
remember
contest.
that.
Okay, yeah,
I was in that
remember
contest, yeah. So like doing stuff like that, and just working, and I kind of started bubbling in LA, and I had a release party that ended up having like 300 people there, but. One of my managers now, he came to the release party. He was an uncle of one of my friends. And so apparently he was managing Q at the time. I didn't know. And he sent Top like a video of the release party. It had a bunch of people there, but Top's not impressed by anything. And so then I had a show like 2 weeks later. And he bought like 20 tickets to the show and just brought a bunch of niggas from TDE. And I met Top's son, Musa. And then maybe like a couple months later, I was signed.
Now, were Envy and Yee nice to you at the Jackin' for Beach thing?
They weren't paying attention. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I feel like I lost because of that. Like Envy was, Angela Yee was taking selfies and niggas is rapping. Niggas up
sounds
there
like
rapping
Yee.
their heart out and they're trying to win this contest.
I know you pay attention to stuff like that because you on
Yeah.
stage. You like, oh shit.
Yeah, you like, oh, this might be like when you like not signed, you think every opportunity is an opportunity to get signed. That's truly how you feel. Like so you like, oh, I'm gonna rap and then they're gonna take me to the Breakfast Club and then I'm gonna get signed by Interscope. Like that's how you think every single opportunity. And so, but yeah, it wasn't that big of a
You
deal.
didn't
though.
win?
I did not win that one.
Damn
I did
it,
not
man.
win.
Who was the judge?
Yeah.
We were judging?
Y'all was judging,
I
and
picked
then
you.
what's the name? Damn, what is his
You
name?
picked the other person.
I forgot. It was an artist. He came super late. It was Kidding.
It was
Kidding?
it was Kidding.
Kidding.
It was
He came
Kidding.
super late, so he didn't even judge me, and then he judged the nigga that came on after me. I'm
Did
like,
anybody else from that showcase pop off?
Not from my knowledge, like, but I still keep in contact with some of them artists. Though I keep in contact with a lot of like up and coming artists because I know that feeling and that struggle. You know what I mean? So I try to like at least give them words of encouragement or do whatever I can do. You know what I mean? Like now that I'm on this platform.
You
so
were
I try
so
to-
nice. I just remember, and that's dope because you do keep in touch with people and respond. I remember
do.
you were telling us on lip service, you went on a date and then the woman asked you like,
Yeah, that interview was crazy too. By the way, I just rewatched that lip service.
It was-
But yeah, I try to be as nice as possible and as honest as possible. with
yeah,
the
the
imagine
woman
somebody asked you what went wrong and then you really tell them like, well,
Yeah, like
Jesus
yeah, it was.
Sell a dream. Be a politician.
I try to, but then at times it's like some people really need to hear the truth because I feel like they go on like mad dates or situations or whatever, and nobody tells them the truth, so they run into the same shit over and over and over again. So she wanted to have that conversation. So I'm like, we're gonna have that conversation. Let's have that conversation.
Damn.
So,
I wouldn't do that. I would have just ignored them.
yeah.
What were your expectations when you signed with TDE in 2008?
I thought that we was all gonna just be like in a rap camp making music together, and that everybody knows each other, and all these things. Which everybody does know each other. Don't get me wrong on that. But I'm thinking of I grew up on TDE, so I'm thinking it's like they still in the garage and all these niggas is rapping and shit. It's like, no, these niggas are rich. They have lives and families and you know what I mean? So that expectation was a little different, but I'm not gonna lie. Other things, like I didn't expect to get as much support from the label as I did. You get what I'm saying? Just from a standpoint of anytime you sign and you worry about, which is why I wrote the record Windows Cry, you worry about like, am I gonna step into this situation and not have like that full-on support? Are they gonna really, really push me? Am I just another artist on the label? That's kind of how you feel.
Did you think that before you signed the deal was one of those things like, shit, I signed with them?
I was worried about it because I was just like, you know, like, I'm signing to this label with great rappers. Like, there's a lot of things that I do get slack on at times, and it's only because I'm surrounded with the greatest rappers, in my opinion, of our generation. So it's like if I was signed to anybody else, niggas wouldn't have this level of expectation of me. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I was like, I'm already in the shadow of like giants. The last thing I want to do is put myself in a situation where somebody's not pushing me the hardest they can push me because I'm already in the shadow of like these giants. You know what I mean? So I was worried about that. I was definitely apprehensive about it. Kind of
like signing with the Golden State Warriors. Like, should I go to the Golden State Warriors and be part of a team?
Exactly.
Or should I start my own? I would say Cowboys, but not Cowboys. But you know what I mean?
Or should I go to like the Knicks and drop 20 every night?
Exactly. I'm glad you said one of his teams. He sway. Like, the Giants suck too.
I feel bad for the Giants this year, though. They've been having. I do. I feel bad for them, man.
You feel bad for the Cowboys too?
I don't. I love this.
Why do people hate the Cowboys so much?
I hate the Cowboys because my brother's a Cowboy fan. Shout out my brother. But yeah, he's a diehard Cowboy fan, and I'm a Ram fan. And so the opening week, he was talking a gang of shit to me, and then the Rams ended up winning. And then these niggas just start losing every week. So I love it because every time the Rams is bad, he talk a bunch of shit to me. So yeah,
I get it.
I hate
you
the
have
Cowboys.
signed somewhere else. I'm sure there were people like Dreamville. I'm sure there were so many other labels that were actually courting
Well,
you.
I tell people this. I actually thought I was gonna sign to Dreamville because I kept running into Ebe from Dreamville. So I gave this nigga my music like 5 times, and so I kept running into him. I'm like, sooner or later, I'm gonna sign with Dreamville.
Did they
you
offer
get what I'm
you a
saying?
deal?
Nah, he never listened to the music. And it was funny. We was at the TDE. I mean, we was at the Dreamville sessions. And I was telling him about it, and he was like, "For real?" I was like, "Yeah, bro. Like I met you at Bossa Nova. I met you here. I'm telling this nigga every time I met this nigga." And then he looked up his email and he pulled up the song. He like, "Wow, like these songs are in my email." Like I'm like, "Yeah,
damn it, man.
It's all love though. Yeah, them my niggas though. Shout out Dreamville."
You know, Windows Cry. You mentioned it. It's dope because all of your anxiety that you have being on TDE, you expressed in that song. How did Top and Punch and the label react to that record?
It's funny because I use music as just like a way like to therapeutically get shit off my chest. Like I'm not good at, I think like a lot of black men, I'm not good at talking about shit at all. Like
gotta go to therapy, man. We'll get to that later.
I really do. I feel like it's healthy, and so for me, this is like my therapy. I write shit, and so I wrote the record. And for me, I never even planned on playing it for the label. It was just something that I wrote. I was on tour with Rock at the time, and I did it, and I played it for Cal Banks, the producer, and he was the one that convinced me to play it for Musa, and I was nervous about that because I mentioned Musa's, in the song or whatever. And so when I played it for Musa, Musa was like, "This shit hard to me. Like you should play it for my pops." I'm like, "Nigga, I'm not playing it for your pops. Like I played it for you. Like I'm not playing it for your pops." And then one day I was in the studio. I'm drunk with Rock, and when I'm drunk, I make bad decisions, and so I played it for Top. And so when I played it for him, Top actually, like, he loved it. He was the only reason why it even came out because I wasn't planning on it being on the project. Top told me to put it as the outro. The Gossip was the outro. And so, Top had me put it on, and then, it went well, though. But that's why I fuck with them is because, like, they're okay with me being myself and being honest. You get what I'm saying about things? And Top tell me all the time, like, that's why I signed you is because you're a very honest and outspoken artist. Like all of my artists have felt this way on Windows Cry, but they've never expressed it. And you went and made a whole song about it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you said you didn't even know what's in your contract. Like how much of that is rap and how much of that is
Nah, that was that was a fact. My boy LT, I didn't know because I was working a job and they gave me the contract. And
what job we working? Where we working at?
I was working at this place called Tech Systems. I was a IT recruiter. Like basically, I recruited people for IT shit. And so I was working at that job, and we had to take people to lunches for our job or whatever. And so I would lie and say I'm going to a lunch and go meet with labels when I was started bubbling and having label meetings. And so I went down there to get the contract, and my lawyer came with me, LT, and he had the contract and he was going over it, but I didn't know what was in this shit. But when I left, I was like, I'm not turning down a deal from TDE. Like I'm gonna sign it, but I really don't know what's in this contract.
You signed the first deal they offered you?
I signed the first deal that TDE offered me, but I did talk to Top before signing it though, because
And he told
I
you
had
to take your time, right?
Yeah, he did. He allowed me to take my time. He was like, "Go home, read it over with your family."
Take your time. I got you for 13 hours. Don't even worry about it.
It's Space Jam, Moral Mountain. Like, you good? You got.
So wait, your lawyer didn't like redline anything?
I did redline shit, and I called him on the phone and had a conversation with him. But what I like about Top so much is that like the contract is the contract, but Top is just a real nigga as far as like he was just like, look, the contract is a standard contract. Like I want you to be here. You know what I mean? So anything that you feel some type of way about, we can figure that out. Like the most important thing is that you comfortable and you making the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, but that was real though. Like at the time I didn't know what was in my contract, and it's funny because when I wrote the record, then my lawyer LT called me. He was like, let's go over this contract. Like since you think that.
Hey, Reason, I don't approve. I don't approve of that decision.
Hey, I'm not gonna. It was definitely like not a smart decision, like as far as like what you should be doing. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like I was a struggling artist. I wanted to raise my brand. You know what I mean? That was something that I desperately wanted to do. But and after I like went over the contract with my lawyer, I still would have signed it. So I'm glad to say that it wasn't one of those situations where I signed it and regretted it, if that makes sense.
The lawyer can tell you anything after the fact.
Well, this is my childhood friend. I've been knowing this since he was 5.
Oh, okay,
this is like my
gotcha,
dog.
gotcha,
So
gotcha.
that was another reason why I kind of signed it, was because he read it and he knew what was in it. So I didn't have him go over with me. I was like, if you think I should sign it, I trust you. I've been knowing you since I was 5. Like, you wouldn't have me sign no shit that I shouldn't be signing.
How many albums TDE got you for?
I don't want to get into that.
Reason, I know it's not easy too for a TD artist to even be able to get on the schedule to put out their album. So for you, what was the process like even getting to the point?
It's actually, to me, in my opinion, that's a myth. Like, we don't have a schedule. It's just really.
I just see them always being like, Top, I'm trying to put my album out, and complaining.
It's just because Top is very hard on, like, Top is a hard music critic. So it's not really a schedule. It's just more of, like, the music got to be, like, elevated. Like, every single time. Like, I tell people this all the time. Like, name a bad TDE album. You might be able to name ones that you maybe don't like as much as others, but, like, niggas drop great albums. You get what I'm saying? Like, and that's because of the fact that Top don't let you, like, Top will let you sit there. Cool. You don't want to make, like, you're not elevating? Cool. We'll just wait. You know what I mean?
So how long did it take for you? For this
for me, this project probably took, like, a year and some change, but it was also because I was I'm working on my next project too. So that one's a little bit more personal. So I was kind of bouncing back and forth between both projects. Like, I could have got it done probably in like 6 or 7 months for sure. So yeah.
Now, do you own your publishing?
Yes.
Okay, you hesitated.
Because it's I'm trying to, like, I've been working on this PR thing and like not saying wild shit. I've been getting in trouble some, Charlamagne. I know that people don't pay attention as much, but I've been in trouble a little bit. I'm trying to work on the shit.
Now, why did it take you so long to do the album? Because a lot of artists now do albums so fast.
Yeah,
you put out projects before.
No, but this one he said.
This was my first project with the label. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like now, because of streaming, everybody's just looking for the records. Like, it's more about, if you get 3 or 4 records that catch, you can put out whatever because your project is platinum before it even comes out. You get what I'm saying? Like, so for a lot of people, it's just, get 3 or 4 records that catch, and then whatever else comes out of that, it's not a big deal. But for us, at least I could say, like, we want to be known for the timeless music. We want some people to be able to look at this in 8-9 years. You get what I'm saying? Like, Good Kid, Mad City, they just celebrated, I want to say, their 12-year anniversary.
Classic album.
And it's like, that's a top 5 rap album. You get what I'm saying?
That's not even my favorite Kendrick album.
It's not?
What's your Butterfly?
To Pimp a Butterfly? That's crazy.
Kendrick album.
Yeah, my favorite album of all time is Good Kid, Mad City. So that's definitely my favorite album. But that's just what I mean, though. It's like we have projects that last, though. You know what I mean? Like, Sir's last album is one of my favorite R&B albums. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not just saying that because I'm on the label. It's like J-Rock's Redemption was crazy. Like, these are great, great albums, and I feel like it's because we don't rush that process.
So there you have it. That was something you had that music already.
Yeah, so that's how Top found me. So basically, I made There You Have It. And then that was the release party I was telling you about. And then I had a show for There You Have It. And then that's how they found me. And I was working on New Beginnings. And so when I was working on New Beginnings, Top kept listening to There You Have It. And he was just like, fuck it, we just gonna put this out. Like, I want people to know why I signed you. You know what I mean? So we just re-released it. But that was like made off of YouTube beats, like in my room. Like, I would just type in like, oh, J. Cole type beat, and then scroll through a bunch of shit. It's funny because when we had to clear There You Have It, we was calling the producers and trying to like get shit cleared, but we can't tell them that it's TDE because then they're gonna try to request like this crazy bag or whatever.
Absolutely.
So everybody, we paid and got everything handled. And then when it dropped, there was a bunch of producers like, what the fuck, bro? Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was definitely like off of YouTube. So yeah.
TDE is so interesting to me because they got a phenomenal roster of artists, like you just said, Sir and Isaiah Rashad, incredible artists. But
SZA.
But no, I'm talking about like Isaiah and Sir and you for a reason because y'all haven't achieved like the wide success of SZA and Kendrick and Q yet. Why do you think that is?
I just think that it's not our time yet. I feel like we still building. Like for me, like I said, this is my first project. I think that Zay's project is gonna go crazy. I feel like a lot of people are waiting for him. I don't think I know because every time I drop some fucking music, people ask me where Zay is. But I just think that it's just a process, and I think the era is different. Like Dot and all them came up in an era where if you rapped well and made dope records like that, like. Then you kind of just went, you know what I mean? It's kind of not like that anymore. Like you so many different aspects. It's social media, it's people caring about, everything part of your life, your dating life, what you driving, what you wearing, all these things change the way that your music circulates. You know what I'm saying? Like you got niggas that you don't know a record from them, but these niggas is famous because of just their lifestyle.
Somebody said that to me yesterday. They were like, you don't really necessarily have to be a great artist.
You kind of don't. You get what I'm saying? Up. Yeah, like if you want to be a musician or a rapper or anything, you don't really got to be talented. You just got to know how to sell it. Like it's really like kind of like, you know what I mean, just hustling now. Like, you don't really have to you don't got to write. You don't really got to do none of that shit.
Is that frustrating to you? Like when you look at all the work you put in?
It was at a point, but now that I'm in a situation where like I'm making the money I want to make, like of course, you always want to make more to have freedom and shit like that, but it's like, it don't bother me. I want to be noticed for, like, I wouldn't change it is what I'm saying. I want to be known for the music. I want to be my legacy to have good projects that last. You know what I mean? I would rather do it that way than for people to just know me because I had the new BMW or whatever the case may be. So it's like, I'm good with that.
Were you expecting massive success when you first signed to TDE though?
I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was gonna go crazy. I was like, as soon as they announced me, I'm gonna have 200,000 followers. Like niggas is going I thought I was just gonna go completely crazy. And then you get that reality check, like just because you signed a CD, that's just a stamp. Like you still gotta put the work in. You know what I mean? And so, and then you also think that certain shit is gonna come with you. Like, I'm signed to TDE, I can get a feature from anybody. Like, no, that's not the case either. Like niggas have relationships. You know what I mean? And you have to build
get features and you can't.
Oh yeah, I can get features in my camp.
You didn't push up hard enough though.
I didn't push hard enough on the Dot feature. I should have pushed harder on the Dot. I got ad-libs.
Kendrick on this one. With Kendrick on this
one. Some ad-libs.
I just should have pushed harder. Like I was nervous, like with Dot and shit like that. He gave me ad-libs. I'm like, fuck, I want a verse, but I don't really want to ask him. You get what I'm saying? But I should have just asked him because Dot is cool. Like, it's not hard to get a feature in the camp.
That's kind of disrespectful, though. I just ad-libs on your debut project.
Well, not the
Why you didn't? I'd have put feature Kendrick Lamar.
I wanted to. Top was like, nigga, he's not on the record.
I mean, when I heard it, I thought, I was like, oh, he is.
That's what I said.
I know a Kendrick ad-lib.
That's what I said, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, me and Top had that conversation. Like, that was my argument. I'm like, this nigga's he's on my album. Like, I don't understand. Like,
didn't Ye do that? Did he put feature in Jeezy and all Jeezy did was ad-libs? Well, they can't tell me nothing.
He did do that. Yeah. And them ad-libs was fire. No, he did. Yeah. And them ad-libs was fire. That's what I'm saying. If a nigga ad-lib on your song, that's a feature. I wanted to put feature in Kendrick Lamar.
L'Oreal was like, why does he sound like Kendrick on these ad-libs?
I know, because it didn't say feature, so L'Oreal thought that I was doing the ad. She was like, oh, this nigga's in this Kendrick bag right now.
I knew that was Kendrick. I can hear it. But I think that's dope. I think for me, that's I don't know, that just adds a different element to it when you say, yo, I want you to do ad-libs. Like, even when Ye did that with Jeezy, I'm like, okay, that's dope, because Jeezy...
And that's really how I approached it.
Ad-libs and not a verse?
I did, because the song was done, and so I asked him to do the ad-libs, and then I played it for my boy.
Is that a way to be like, yo, can you do some ad-libs?
No, I truly... So I'm not gonna lie. So I was listening to Redemption a lot, and he did the shit on Win, and I thought that was hard. So I was like, yo, this record is crazy. I want his ad-libs on it. So I asked him. And then when he did the ad-libs and I played it for my boy, he was like, damn, I thought Dot was about to spit a verse. That would have been crazy. And I was like, fuck, I should have asked him.
Did you send it to him with an open verse, though? You should have sent it with an open verse.
So what I did was I hit him back, and I was like, yeah, man, these ad-libs is crazy. I just feel like we should try to, like, add another element to it. And I was just kind of waiting, like...
You were specific.
You wanted him to hit you back like I think I might lay a 16.
I might just lay a 16. I would be like, oh, that's crazy. I was thinking the same thing, my nigga. Like, damn, look how that worked out. But yeah, he was just like, yeah, that shit tight.
Yo, it was good to see Rhapsody get her flowers last night at the BET Hip Hop Awards. She won Lyricist of the Year. I love that you paid homage to her on Fall.
Yeah.
What motivated you to write about her play?
Man, what's crazy, you're like one of the only people that like caught that like the references to Rhapsody or whatever. But nah, I was unfortunately I was late to Rhapsody. I can't lie and say I've been here since day one, but I got put on Layla's Wisdom, and I was just like, yo, who the fuck is this? Like, she's crazy. You know what I mean? And so I started thinking. It just had me thinking, like, why isn't she like the one? Like, to me, I'm like, this is like this should be the one. Like if we talking about any female rapper, in my opinion, that's no disrespect to nobody, but this should be the one. And I was just like, why is that? And I'm like, the way that hip hop portrays sex and pushes that for women, I'm just like, it's not fair. Like women can literally be just as talented, or if not more talented, and if they're not doing certain things or selling certain things, they don't get that recognition. You know what I mean? So I wrote that verse on Fall based off of that, and I was just inspired from it. That's actually how I met Rap. She was following me on Twitter, and I sent her the record, and then she called me and she was damn near in tears, and we had like a long conversation just about like the industry and everything that a woman has to go through and all their fights and plights that they got to deal with. And then that was how I ended up getting her on I Can Make It. And that's why I sequenced it that way. That's why I put that one
first,
there.
And then,
I did Fall first and sent it to her with just that verse. And then I wrote the second verse later about the male's perspective, and I sent it to her, and then we connected. And then like maybe a month later I did I Can Make It, and I sent I Can Make It to her and was like, yo, go crazy.
Yeah, I wonder why she wasn't on Fall. I was like, why didn't he just put her on Fall?
Yeah, it was just because I felt like that was the moment, like that verse was the moment, and I got everything off that I wanted to say from the female perspective. Like I like to do my verses if I'm talking about something and leave it up for your interpretation to go with it. So it's like I talked about this female perspective. You don't know what happened to her, but you can apply this to so many different artists. So I didn't want to drill home the female thing, because it's like I felt like I already hit it on the head. Wherever you can take this and apply it to anybody, Meg, Cardi, anybody, literally. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm sure they have their stories about shit that they had to go through.
Yeah, I don't even rate Rap as a female rapper. I rate Rap with
I say the same thing. I think Rhapsody is top 5 rappers out, period. Like I tell people that, like, period. And she, like, if you want to say female, I think she's the most talented female rapper out, but she's the best rapper, like she's top 5 rappers out, bro. And she went crazy on my project. Like she's one of the few people I was like, yeah, she got me. I'm not gonna lie.
And I can appreciate that. Not only that, but just as an individual, just the stuff that she does outside of music.
Yeah, like she's very, very involved. You know what I mean? And she hit me up when the Breanna Taylor thing is still going on, but when it first kicked off, and she had me like post some stuff and things like that. And I just appreciate even that, because it's like, I care about those things, but I also I'm going through life, and so I wasn't involved as much as I wanted to be at the time. And so Rap sending that to me, I was like, yo, I need to kind of get more involved into this. So I posted it, and then I started, talking about it more on my story and different things like that. But yeah, now she is the example of what people should be doing if they have a platform, in my opinion.
Now, you talk about influences, right? And you're from the West Coast, so people will automatically think your influences were your Snoops and your Pops and your Dots. But, reading,
we got any lights all in here? Reason and cough like 3-4 times. I heard that Carson COVID hit a little different.
I've been tested for COVID like 19 times.
That cough the whole time. Like, I can't cough in this.
I've been tested for COVID like 19 times. I'm so over these COVID
tests. Dad. Just one time.
But they say some of your influences were like Lil Wayne and Fabulous.
Yeah.
So talk about that too, because I would never expect Wayne and Fab as somebody that influenced.
Yeah, like I don't really have no West Coast influences, to be honest with you. Like, of course I like West Coast music. Yeah, I don't. Like, and I feel like that's why I rap the way that I rap, is because I was super influenced by New York culture in general. So Ludacris was actually he's not East Coast, but he was my very, very first favorite rapper.
Really?
But then after that, like a year after that, it became Fabulous. And I was a diehard Fabulous fan for like years and years. And then it became Cassidy, and then it went to Lil Wayne. But I just like it's tight to me, like when you do different metaphors and clever wordplay and shit like that. That's always been something I was into, and that's not nothing that the West Coast niggas was doing. We was just kind of like vibing, and it was more like
Razzcast.
Yeah, Razzcast for sure. But just like the more prominent ones, it was more like a vibe, and like, you know what I mean, or it was either a vibe or it was just straight at you like Pac. You know what I'm saying? It was one of the two. And East Coast niggas was just like they was just gliding over records, and I just like that. So yeah.
And I would say Corrupt, and I would say
so you ever met Fab?
I haven't met Fab. Yeah, I would love to meet Fab though. That's literally like one of my favorite rappers of all time.
I would say Corrupt and Exhibit, but they're not necessarily from L.A. or Cali per se.
Are they not?
No, Corrupt's from Philly.
Corrupt's from Philly.
I didn't know that, to be honest with you.
Exhibit is from New Mexico.
I thought it was from Detroit.
From New Mexico?
Detroit, somewhere. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
That's crazy.
Actually,
Yeah, I didn't even know that. And but I was fans of Corrupt. I wasn't the biggest Exhibit fan, but I was a fan of Corrupt. But it was just like I don't know, like it didn't hit the same to me. You know what I mean? Like in New York was like the home of just on the corner raps, and that was the shit that I really, really fuck with. You know what I mean? Like that's what I liked. It's just niggas that just rap and have pride in that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Reason, you said you're already working on your next project.
Yeah.
And it's going to be even more personal than this one?
It definitely is, which is crazy because people were hitting me like, damn, you were so personal. I'm like, damn, that's not even like half of the shit that I really, really wanted to talk about. You know what I mean? But to give you an idea, like Slow Down was on my album. So Slow Down that's the level of personal that the album is going to be. And Slow Down was literally like one of the records that was on my album. And I just took it off of there. I was like, let's just put it on over here, though.
Slow Down, you talk about the guilt of making a woman get an abortion.
I don't like the word make.
It's a decision
but I get you. But definitely, I talk about the fact that, guys do that. We push women to do things that we want them to do. We kind of like, kindly shove them that direction. You know what I mean? And I also talk about the fact that like what scared me was that I didn't feel guilty about it afterwards. Right. And that was the part that literally worried me. I was like, I don't feel guilty. Like, what is wrong with me? You get what I'm saying? Like, I need to grow up. And so, yeah, it's definitely something that like I worried about talking about for sure. I thought I was like, maybe they're gonna probably kill me over this shit. But
and then you talked about being a father one day, and then thinking about what if you have a daughter?
Exactly. And what if she meets a guy that puts her through the same thing, and then he don't care? You know what I'm saying? You said you got 3?
3 daughters.
How was that?
My dick, my wife's vagina.
No, I'm saying
came together, virgin bees.
I'm saying, how is it having 3 daughters?
This guy's an idiot.
I mean, it's 12, 5, and 2. So they still at that young age.
Yeah.
The 12-year-old is
That's what I'm about to say. She's close though.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you got to monitor things like social media and stuff. But I mean, I feel you exactly what you're saying. Like, you don't want to see your daughters go through anything that you may have put a woman through.
Yeah,
things
man.
you see other women go through.
And it's like it's that old myth that it's karma. Like it's karma for everything that you've gone through. Like I pray almost all the time that I don't have daughters. Like I'm not gonna lie.
What have you done?
I want sons.
What are some of these things besides that?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I went through a wild phase where it's like I was really just doing like stupid, reckless shit. You know what I mean?
Through
And
your whole phase.
Yeah, but
everybody goes through it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's something that like guys can't really talk about because I feel like women don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? But I went through that phase, and so it's like I definitely be feeling like, damn, I'm gonna have karma because
I think
of that.
women go through that phase too. They just don't say it, don't talk about it, don't speak about it. They better at hiding it.
I think women whole phase be like, oh my God, I slept with 2 guys in the same week. Like,
yeah, and we also, I think women are pretty open. Like, we tell our friends.
Yeah.
You probably kept it to yourself.
Yeah, like women talk about stuff. That's what I'm saying. Like, I always say women are mentally healthier than men because women have girls' night and talk about shit. Like,
we
girls'
overtalk.
night.
Yeah,
y'all talk about everything.
We be like, girl, his dick was turned to the left, and then this happened.
That's what I'm saying.
Men
Like,
do too, though.
Not to that extent though. Like I was talking to my homeboy about it. Like he's going through something right now, and I was like, and the shit he was going through was heavy. Like, you know what I mean? And like he was damn near like losing his family. And I'm like, niggas will really be going through the most traumatic shit in their life and never say nothing about it. Like be dying inside. Nigga be at a bar and everything. Like just
you know you gotta watch who your friends are and how they are. Like I always used to say, like Charlamagne early on when we started, if I told Charlamagne I had a problem, it'd be the worst. CB, you bit like
that's what I'm saying. That's what we do.
He
like
might still do that now, but that's what he was. So you can't go that way.
Me and my homies, we joke about that all the time. Like a nigga could like really have something wrong with, and we just talk shit about him for it. Like the moment he tell us, like a nigga could be getting evicted, we like, this broke ass nigga. Like,
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm killing
Evictions?
you.
Oh, you getting killed?
I'm killing. We putting you on memes, all
See,
type
now,
of
if
shit.
that's
Like,
me and my girls, be like, okay, let's put a fund together and let's put our money up so we could get.
Not when y'all was kids.
Well, but kids?
Yeah.
No, even when I didn't have a lot of money. If my friends ever needed anything, they always knew. Like, there's times that my friends have come to me and I didn't have no money, really. And
See, but for guys, it's like they'll be
out.
scared to come to you just because it's like...
You don't want to look bad.
Yeah, you don't want to look bad. You get what I'm saying? Like,
did you go through your whole phase after... I know you had a long-term relationship. Like, did you go through your whole phase right after that?
It was like in the middle towards the end, like, and then after. So it was like, it overlapped, and that was why we broke up, because of the fact I was like, if I'm going to be wilding like this, and I love this girl so much, it don't make sense for me to still be here. Like,
why
at
do
this
guys
point.
do that? Why do y'all wild out even though you love somebody so much?
Because sex isn't connected to love necessarily. So it's like when you're doing that, like, you're not necessarily looking at it as, oh, this has anything, like the two aren't related. You get what I'm saying? Like, and honestly, I'm gonna say this, like, and I'm probably, hey, whatever, here it is. I feel like women should give men that are faithful credit for that. Like, women will act like it's the same thing as a woman being faithful, and it's like, it's not the same thing. Like, honestly, it's not. And I just feel like you get a little bit of credit for that. Like, I do.
But look, you know, so wait, let me ask you this though.
Get credit for that.
Since love and sex aren't
Pump your
connected.
chest up if you want.
No, only reason I say I feel him. I'm sorry, you go ahead.
When you're cheating though, you don't think about your girl. Like, you don't. It doesn't even.
What?
Like you never felt you never feel guilty like while you're doing it. Like
No, I have felt guilty, but it's like it's also like you thinking about like, okay, this is the only life that I have to live. Like, am I really gonna like especially when you're in a relationship young, you like, okay, I'm 22 and I'm in this relationship, like, but I'm 22. Like, I want to experience things, but I also don't want to lose this girl because I love her to death. You know what I mean? And so the two really aren't connected. I'm just trying to live, but at the same time, if I tell you that I want to live, then you're going to leave. So now here comes my selfish side, and I'm going to choose to kind of do me, but still try to keep the relationship and try to keep it respectful. And that's why I said, like, once I started feeling like I was getting disrespectful with it was when I left, because I was like, I never want to be disrespectful with that, even though I know women going to be like, cheating is disrespectful anyway. But yeah, I never want to be.
Did she ever cheat on you?
Not to my knowledge, but I'm the type of nigga like I don't ask questions I don't want to know the answers to.
Yeah,
really? So you ain't never asked, yo, how big was it?
Now that's a Charlamagne question all day. He might just ask that for no reason.
I'm not asking that.
So really?
I don't go through phones or nothing because I don't want to know. Like,
Charlamagne's wife cheated on him when they were dating back in the day.
Do you want to have these conversations, King?
Nah, we go. Let's let it go. Let's let it go.
He's talking about me being personal.
But what you said is true, right? Because
this guy crazy. I don't know it.
What you said is true because, like, I haven't cheated since October 2016.
That's fire.
And that shit feel like being sober. Like literally,
Bruh,
I write that down like in my mindfulness
And I
goals.
feel like, and the reason why I say this because I feel like if women gave men credit for that, then men would appreciate it and it would encourage them to not do it more. It's almost like it's just like nigga, okay, and you was being faithful, you supposed to do that. It's like it is a difference, like, and it's just not the same thing.
I feel like it just doesn't come up. If your man isn't cheating on you, then you're not talking about it because everything's fine. Like with that.
True, but I'm just saying, like, if you have a dude and he's faithful, like, I think that, like, you don't necessarily have to say thank you for being faithful.
Baby, did you cheat
Yeah,
today?
exactly. You don't got to say thank you for being faithful. I'm just saying that
Gold star.
it should be looked at and given credit to. You get what I'm saying? Like, in my opinion, because it's like it's something that like is not an easy thing to do.
It's hard
for
for women to not cheat too, though. Y'all got to give us credit too.
What?
That's what I'm saying.
There's all
like,
kind of
like it's
offers
not.
of
It's,
Birkin bags flying around and.
some women, I know these Birkin bags.
No more buying bags for bitches that can't afford
one. 2020, man. That's what I'm saying. Like,
No, but I'll tell you why I give myself credit. I give myself credit because I feel like when I was cheating, I was feeding my ego.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's literally
really
all
what it is.
That's all it is.
That's really
all
what it
the
is.
ego play. So being that I haven't done that in 4 years, I realized that I'm not leading with ego anymore. I don't have that wounded ego anymore.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I feel more whole and healed.
And I also tell people I think the industry does it, right? Mm-hmm. Because when you're a kid and you look at all these videos, all your rappers, this is what you see.
Exactly.
So when you get into that world, it's like, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's definitely a culture thing.
And then you realize, damn, I'm about to ruin the best thing I have over some shit that
don't mean nothing. And it's definitely a culture thing. Like I lived for 2 years in Iowa because I was playing basketball out there, and they don't have the same culture as us. And out there, like everybody gets married at like 20 and nobody cheats. And like that's exactly. Like that's a thing. So it's definitely a culture thing that's been driven by, you know, everything, sports, hip hop, music.
West Coast music was the worst.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Ain't shit but holes and tricks.
Yeah, I love that record.
Love it.
That's
amazing. That misogyny over the beat is incredible.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's a fact. Like, yeah, and it's also funny to see in hip hop how it's like it's transitioned to like now like women are having like the same content that men have.
People are so
and
mad
then men
about
be
it.
mad. I'm
Right.
like, nigga, we've been saying bitches ain't shit for years.
Yeah,
like,
man.
and y'all mad that they saying, you know what I mean, tricking a guy out of 30,000 or whatever the case may be. Like, yo, like we've been saying the same shit for years. So,
Jesus, why was West Coast music so toxic but so entertaining? You didn't realize it back then. You just loved it.
You just loved it. You just went along with it, and it was just like it is what it is. But
I
now
don't think it
all
was
music
even
is
just.
over.
It was a lot of music though
Everything.
back then too.
BET Uncut was crazy.
Nah, West Coast was worse. West Coast was horrible, bro. That early Steph Row shit was wild.
It was bad.
Bro.
It was really, really
Nelly
bad.
was swiping credit cards down chicks'
That wasn't
butts.
nothing. I mean, Snoop just straight up said it. Bitches ain't shit, but hoes and tricks. Get on your knees and suck the dick.
That's crazy.
Like, what the fuck? Like, when you think about it, now, you're like, what
I mean, I can at least put it in your mouth.
That's
In your
crazy.
motherfucking mouth.
That's a little more tasteful.
It is. Snoop was right to the point.
Yeah, Snoop was just crazy
Now,
back then.
on Slow Down, you know, did you reach out to the young lady before you put that out there? Or you just
Yeah, I did. I learned that lesson from There You Have It off a record. I got Better Days with my cousin. I didn't reach out to him before I put that out, and that didn't go well. And so that's why I also talk about that on Slow Down on the second verse.
He approached you, y'all fought, y'all had to move some furniture around?
Nah, we didn't do that. But I could just tell it hurt him. Like, he'd be at shows, and I'd perform Better Days, and he'll walk out. Like, he couldn't listen to it because it's like, yeah, it's his life, literally right there. And I've been blessed with the ability to be able to storytell and it be vivid. So it's so vivid that every time he heard it, it was taking him right back through that entire situation. And it was just a difficult thing for him to deal with. You know what I mean? So I learned my lesson through that to always reach out to people before I put a record out. You know what I mean? If I talk about them. So,
even your family though, because you like even on Gossip, you said your greatest fear is your relatives exposing your skeletons.
I didn't reach out to them because that was a different type of situation where it was like I felt like, I've been waiting my whole life for this moment, and now y'all making it about y'all. Like y'all coming to me, about opportunities and money, and y'all making this situation where I feel like if I don't do what you asking me to do, the moment that, you get a chance to sell me out, you will sell me out. You know what I mean? And so that situation I didn't, just because it's like, I don't even talk to them no more, to be honest with you.
Those are the air quote relatives.
Exactly, like air quote. Because I feel like, family is family and blood is blood, but everybody don't treat you like family. You know what I mean? And I always tell people, you really see how people feel about you when you take wins. People think that your L's, is what shows, people's character. When you win and other people aren't winning around you is when you really see somebody's character, because they have to be able to be happy for you even while they're not winning. You know what I'm saying? And that's not an easy thing to do unless you truly, truly fuck with somebody and love them. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, go you.
What kind of skeletons do you have that might come out?
Hopefully they stay skeletons. Like,
is it that bad?
It's not that bad. Like everybody has skeletons. Like we all have stuff that, has happened or that, we don't want to talk about or whatever the case may be. So it's just more about like, I pray that, my relatives or people that, I've had relationships with don't expose certain things. You know what I mean? We all have those things.
Why not expose them first? Is that what the second album's going to be? Well, like, why not?
I think I expose a lot of shit in this next album. Like I feel like that's what I mean. It's like I talked about a lot of. It's way, way more personal. You know what I'm saying? Like than that. It's like kind of slow down personal.
Is it things that a rapper could use against you? Like if you got into a beef, you could go talk to some of your family members and get some dirt.
For me, a rapper can't really use nothing against me in a beef unless he like fuck my girl or something like that. Like I'm never ashamed of like. You know what
I
I'm
hate
saying?
when
like
people
something.
bring women into like their beefs and stuff like that.
No,
I think that's so
1,000%.
rude. You just be minding your business. Next thing you know.
I could say that, but then it's like if I got in a beef, I would do it. I'm not gonna lie. I would for
Damn
sure
it,
would do it. Like if
what if you really
the
did fuck
opportunity-
his girl? That's kind of
If I really did, I might not even drop a track. I'd drop proof that I fucked this girl and
Damn
just leave
it,
it at that.
That's so rude to the girl, because then you have a song like Fall, but then here you are,
But we're all walking
Like
hypocrites
respectful.
though. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? In life, like
It
we're
is.
all walking hypocrites. So it's like who knows what you'll do. It depends on what the situation is. If it's just rap beef, and that's cool. But if it's like a personal thing where maybe I personally don't like this person, then I might get personal.
Because remember when Jay-Z and Nas were beefing, and then they talked about the car seat and all that?
Yeah, that was crazy.
I felt like that was just too
People
far.
don't give Hove enough credit for that beef.
No, I think Takeover. I personally
no, I
think
feel
Takeover was better than Ether.
I feel the exact same way.
I'm that guy.
I feel the same way.
I think we didn't expect that from Nas at that time.
I get killed. Yeah, Nas was like
Nas killed Ether though.
Nas killed Ether, but it was also like when AI crossed Jordan. It was like Hove was Jordan. It's like we didn't know that somebody could. You get what I'm saying? Like do that. So I feel like it also had that effect too. But not to take away from Nas because Ether was crazy. But I think Takeover was better to me.
I respect Ether, but when you go back and listen to Ether now, Ether had a lot of sixth grade disses.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like
You're gay,
you're ugly,
you're
your big
rat,
lips,
you something-
like yeah.
you're
But those
ugly.
things also make you be like, at the time when you hear it,
Yeah, but like Hove was like
Surgical.
Yeah, and the reason why I love Hove is because Hove is like so like everything Hove be saying be true. Like that be the crazy thing. When Hove say shit, it's true. Like this nigga really be saying real shit, and so
does
that's
it
why
take
I like
away
it.
from the beef when you apologize for a part of a song? Should you ever apologize?
I don't think it takes away from it because the beef was the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at Drake and Meek, like they had their moment. It was incredible, and now they're super, super cool. Like I think it's dope when people get along afterwards because now it's just a moment in hip hop. It don't got to go no farther. It's sad when it goes further. You get what I'm saying? Like when niggas get online and they're like, fuck the rap beef, nigga, we pull it. Like that's not where we trying to go. You get what I'm saying? So it's dope when they can do like Drake and Meek.
When you beef with one member of TDE, is it you beefing with everybody?
I would like to think so, but nobody's done it. So I would want to say yes. You get what I'm saying? But I would like to think so, but nobody's really beefed with none of us to that level. You get what I'm saying? Like people have thrown little shots at the label and shit, but it ain't never been nothing that nobody jump out the window.
How old were you during the East Coast West Coast beef?
I was young, like probably like 10, something like that.
Yeah,
9, 10.
I would think that would have been the pinnacle of all rap beef ever. Like
Right.
people would have
Yeah,
said after that,
yeah.
you know what?
After
This
that,
shit-
it's like,
leave it
yeah,
alone.
it'll never, I don't think it'll ever be like that again. You know what I'm saying? Because that was like
Yeah,
real
I don't think so
problems. You get what I'm saying? Like, niggas don't have real problems nowadays. Niggas just kind of like passive aggressively don't like each other.
It could have got close though. I think that Drake and Meek could have got close.
It could have for sure, and I think that that's why they squashed it, which was dope. You get what I'm saying? Like I think that it was dope because it was like, all right, let's not go any farther than this. Like we both put out our records, you get what I'm saying, and let's just move on from it.
Pac was one of those hypocrites you talk about because he's the same guy who may keep your head up, but then
walking hypocrite.
First line, that's why I fucked your bitch.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. I feel like everybody is a walking hypocrite. Like we all, like we're human. We have moments and days where this day I feel this way, and this day I feel that way. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why I feel like people liked Pac. Was because of how honest he was. Like he will literally tell you, like you said, keep your head up, and in the next moment, nigga yelling middle finger to the camera, all type of crazy shit.
Do you feel like nowadays though, like saying that I fucked your bitch and stuff like that, people kind of look down on it because they get mad when people talk about that, and they be like, "That's okay, that was that's some chatty patty shit you pussy for talking about."
But I also feel like it's just about your security. Like if you're not secure with the fact that your woman used to sleep with other rappers, then don't date her. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you know what comes with that. You know what I'm saying? So if you're gonna be secure about that, then it's like, why are you even putting yourself in that position?
What if you didn't know and you were dating a girl? What if you were dating a girl?
About that. Like if I dated a girl that like let's use Fabulous. Like I don't know Fabulous. Let's say that Fab used to smash. Like
probably did.
That would
no Fab.
Leave Fab alone.
It's a few you got to put on the list. Like okay, she probably slept with Fab.
Let's just say that's old Fab.
Yeah,
Short Drake knocked it off. French probably. You know what I mean?
This is all hypothetical. This is all hypothetical. Go ahead.
This is hypothetical. Yeah, I wouldn't. It would not bother me if Fab used to smash my girl. Like it wouldn't bother me.
You like because he's one of my favorite rappers.
It really wouldn't. Like it really wouldn't. Now it wouldn't start bothering me. Now I would purposely never befriend Fab. Like we can never be homies. Like you know what I'm saying. But like it wouldn't change the way I feel about his music. It wouldn't change like it's life. You know what I mean?
Would you ride to his music in the car with your girl?
Nah, we can't play no Fab.
Trade it all,
trade it all, we turn it off. Yeah.
What if one night you put it on her and she goes, damn, you put it.
Oh man,
I don't believe that you would be okay with your girl.
Bro, I'm a very secure person. Like no bullshit. Like I'm a very, very secure person in my relationship. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't go through phones. I don't like. I'm not the person that's questioning you.
Now,
like I'm.
What if the person look ugly? Like that person that like be like, why did you fuck him? Let's say Charlamagne, for instance, right?
No, ain't no brother. I'm a married man. Won't be no fucking of other over here. Okay.
But let's say it was somebody that just look.
I want to know who you was thinking about before me, because I want to know who you think is handsome after you talk about somebody. That's what I want to know.
But somebody that's way under your level.
There are times where even that wouldn't make me insecure. But I do like there has been times where like I've dated a girl and then I see a nigga she used to fuck with and I'm like, yo, like why are you fucking like why were you fucking with this nigga? Like you know what I'm saying?
Feel like maybe I lowered my standards.
Yeah, no, it really makes me feel. I swear to God, like I'm the type of nigga like let's say I'm dating you and we're not that deep yet, and I meet a nigga that used to smash, and I'm like he shouldn't be fucking no bitches that I'm fucking. It'll literally be a turnoff if it's not that if my feelings aren't that deep yet. I'd be like I'm like maybe I'm not like maybe I misread it. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe she
like,
corny.
Which is unfortunate because it's like she could have just had a day, like you know what I mean, where it's like some shit just happened.
And guys also act different to you than they might act to like around women. Guys act different than they act.
1,000%, exactly. But it's also as a guy, it'd be like you fell for that. Like come on, like this nigga like he's lame. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's how you be feeling. And so that'd be the honest feelings about it.
So if Logic wanted to reply to you, right, and throw some shots, who in his family?
He
who
did
in your
reply
family
to me.
Yeah, I heard he said he didn't know you were.
Yeah, that's a lie.
So what happened with him and Logic for people that don't know?
On the Soul part 2, he said he basically just said Logic was a coach of vultures.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that if you?
Yeah, when I said it, and I learned a lesson from that too, just as far as like explaining myself when I say stuff. I didn't mean a coach of vulture as far as hip hop. What I meant is that I felt like Logic, his whole career has always stood on the fact that he's a black man. Every interview, that's what he stands on. I look this way, but I'm a black man, black man, black man. But I personally felt like, that he didn't stand hard enough for me as far as like the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. So for me, I'm like, if you're going to live this life from this culture, like you got to stand when it's time to stand. You get what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel. Like I hold every single white rapper accountable that's living off of our culture. Like y'all should be standing the strongest when things like this happen. So that's what I was talking about. And I know he's not white, but that's what I was speaking on. But then I'm not gonna lie, like I had an interesting conversation with Punch like days later, and we was just having an honest talk. And Punch was like, is it? He wasn't saying yes or no. He was just asking the question like, is it our job to have to speak up on social issues? You get what I'm saying? Like, and that was a question he raised, and I was like, maybe it's not. Like, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm tripping thinking that it's our job. You get what I'm saying? Like, or whatever the case may be. So I think it's like maybe it's like a to each his own type of situation.
I used to ask when white rappers come up here, I ask them, what are you doing for the Black Lives Matter movement?
And that's how I feel. Like, you know what I mean? That's truly how I do feel. Like, shout out to Bootleg Kev. We had that conversation. He's a white dude. Yeah, he's a white dude. And he made a video when Black Lives Matter came out talking about how all white people in this hip-hop industry should stand for something. He was like, I don't know what to do yet, but I'm going to get on the phone with, I'm blanking because I got a hangover. Dude from Atlanta that's very, very knowledgeable.
Killer Mike?
Killer Mike.
Yeah.
He was like, I got on the phone with him and started asking him for ways, you know what I'm saying, that I can, help out or whatever. And I feel like white people in hip hop owe us that. And if I'm wrong for saying that, then fuck it, I'm wrong for saying that.
I think Kev got a black girlfriend. I could be wrong.
I'm not sure, but Kev is definitely like black on the inside.
Oh, no, that's my guy. I love Kev.
Yeah, that's my dog.
Now, when Logic said he didn't know who you were, how did that make you feel?
It didn't bother me. It let me know that it did kind of get under his skin a little bit, which wasn't the point of it. You get what I'm saying? Like, but it's like Logic is a huge TDE and Kendrick fan. Like, you know who I am, bro. Like, so it doesn't bother me that he said it. But it's the way I would have handled it if I was in Logic's situation.
Right.
So I can't.
That way you're not really saying nothing.
You throw a
really
shot, but you're not
answer,
really
yeah.
you're not giving them clout. You get what I'm saying? And you throw a quick little shot and then you get off of it. So I don't feel no type of way. And it's also a thing where it's like I don't mention people that I'm not fans of. Like I was a fan of Logic, you know what I mean? And I feel like No Pressure is a dope project, you know what I mean? So I hold people accountable that I'm fans of. And I feel like in today's culture, it's like everything is so sensitive that if you say anything about anybody, it's a diss. Like people said I dissed Mac Miller on my project. It's like I'm not dissing Mac Miller. Like people are just too sensitive nowadays. So
I mean, you just stating the truth about that's his situation.
It's like I'm saying what I wish somebody would have said when he was alive. You know what I mean? You got people around you, and this industry don't give a fuck about artists. Like when artists go through anxiety, depression, popping pills, all this other stuff, they'll watch an artist literally crumble and just love the music. Oh, I want to go to a concert. I want to do, you know what I'm saying? Like instead of being like, how about y'all band together? Be like, no, we're not buying none of your music till you clean up. Like actually care about an artist. So that's why I was speaking on it. And the fans that got mad about it, I'm like, y'all are the problem because y'all care about Mac Miller, the artist. Y'all don't care about Mac Miller, the person.
No, that's true. When Mac used to live in Brooklyn, I pulled up on him a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? I just used to check on him all the time. It's actually interviews with, I'd be like, yo, don't let me find out. I think one time I told him, don't let me find out you still using and, we hear you.
And that's dope. That's dope. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, we need to I just feel like we need to care for each other more, bro. Like, we only here for so long, you know what I'm saying? And there's so many artists, especially when they artists as kids. It's like when you a kid, you go through this entire industry and you meeting your favorites and your goats and shit and they doing drugs or whatever. How are you not going to be influenced at 15 to smoke a blunt with Snoop? How are you how are you going to say no? You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, we still need people that's holding people accountable. Like, yo, these are kids that can later grow and have actual issues.
I don't know if you said, did you ever run into Logic or speak to Logic? Anybody put you on the phone? Because you said you were a fan.
Nah, I never did. And I would, honestly, I would love to talk to Logic. I would love to talk to Logic and just tell him, like, honestly, like, my bad. Like, if I'm holding you to something that you don't necessarily want to talk about, because when I talk to Punch, I'm like, Punch is right. Like, you know what I mean? You can't force everybody to talk about the issues that you want to talk about. Right. So maybe I was out of line. You get what I'm saying? Like, and I would love to talk to him about it if he was open to it.
How are you now that you feel comfortable now that the album's out because you had that anxiety beforehand and
I feel like I got
TDE.
I feel like I got the monkey off my back, and on top of that, like I said, it's a lot of goats over here. So you just want to show that you could belong. You know what I mean? You want to show people that you can make just as good of music, and I feel like I did that with this project. I feel very, very confident in how strong of a body of work. Like the biggest compliment I've been getting on the project is that people are not talking about one specific record. They're talking about the entire project, and I think that that's the greatest compliment as an artist you can get.
Yeah, I love Slow Down. That's one of my favorite records on the album, and you give some great advice in the hook. You say you putting a rush on all your progress. You need to appreciate the process. Are you currently appreciating the process?
I am. Like, I came to New York maybe like last October, and I could have got a rental, but I wanted to take the subway because I was like, I've never taken the subways, and I know there's going to come a day where I probably won't be able to take the subway, so I want to take the subway.
That's overrated.
I'm trying to
take the train all the time. Y'all need to stop it.
I don't even know how to take the train. I got to call Yee.
Yeah.
But I gotta take if I have to, I got to call Yee. I don't know where I'm going.
Full disclosure, though, the train is a great way to get around because it's fast.
No, it's super fast. Like, I was in traffic
fast.
for like an hour yesterday, and I literally was like, dang, I wish I would have just like took the subway or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to appreciate that because I'm like, you get to a level where you it's like Eminem. Eminem can't go to Target.
Right.
Like, so you got to appreciate being able to go to Target. You get what I'm saying? You got to appreciate being able to do little things. Or like if you want to go see a movie with your girl, like you can't even go to AMC. You got to
rent out the whole theater.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? Or like find like one of these super like white, you know what I mean? Like theaters that's in the somewhere that nobody would know who you are and put a hoodie on and go there. You get what I'm saying? Like Dot was trying to protest, nigga in a hoodie and glasses. Like when nigga can't
I didn't like that. I didn't want to see Dot out there. You know what Dot should be? Dot should be in the studio recording.
I agree.
The
I said
next anthem for
I said the same thing when
protest.
people was trying to get on Cole and Dot.
I ain't like that.
Like I was like, bro, like have we not learned? And I'm not saying that it would be this deep, but I'm like, have we not learned that like when we put our kings on front line, they take them out? Like we don't need to put our they've done their work already, and they're going to continuously do their work. And now it's like he's held to have to go out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I didn't like it either.
But you can protest through art. You know what I'm saying?
And you can protest just behind the scenes and do things to actually fix the culture. Which,
the whole way.
Yeah, exactly. The whole way. But it's like niggas try to cancel Hove. That shit is crazy.
That shit is
It's
crazy.
insane to me, bro. Like, yeah.
Listen, on instinct, because I want to talk about this because that was a big topic this week. You did say no more buying bags. It's just they can't afford one. So safe to say you didn't agree with Saweetie's assessment that you have to buy bags and pay bills.
No, that shit is stupid, bro. That's like the stupidest shit. And yeah. But I mean, I get it. It's cute. Like it's internet. Shit. Like I don't even think Saweetie believes that. I just think that it's internet.
It's a topic,
shit.
but going back to the streets, it was a song that she had, they just put out. So I think she was just doing that as fun for the song.
That's what I'm saying. I think it was fun, and then it just kind of caught. You know what I mean? But I think that like honestly, like if your girl want a bag and you want to buy her a bag, cool. But I just don't think it's a great investment. I feel like if you want to do something for your girl with that money, there's so many other things you could do. You know what I'm saying? So that's my personal opinion.
Actually, a Birkin is a good investment, just to put it out there. It is a good investment. Other bags are not. Yeah,
they're worth more later. Chanel bags too.
Oh, they do? Okay, got you. Well, yeah.
So yeah, you can buy some bags.
Oh yeah, well then if it's like property and paintings, then fuck it.
What's the most expensive gift you ever bought somebody?
Exactly.
I don't think I bought like a super, like it was probably like $1,500. Like it wasn't nothing super crazy. It was a bag. It was a bag.
Michael Kors?
Nah. What bag was it? I think it was Gucci. I think it was a Gucci bag.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like $1,500.
Why do you say Michael Kors?
I don't know. I just didn't think
I was laughing because I was
buy you a lot at Gucci or something.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, I don't think if Michael Kors had, never mind, I don't want to shit on Michael Kors. I don't know if they have a bag that's $1,500.
Let me tell you something. You said you want to move to New York, right?
Oh, here you go. Let's see it.
Just letting you know right now. The Latino women in New York love Michael Kors.
Do they?
Yeah.
Got you. I only date black women though.
I'm with you.
How you know, Charlamagne?
Huh?
How you know?
Back in my days,
Before 2016.
Way before 2016.
He bought a bag and the whole family.
Yo, King.
You might. My bad.
King.
My bag.
Why King act like he don't got a record? Jesus.
Reason, let's get into a record off down. What you want to hear,
man?
bro?
What we want to listen to?
It's
so much. I like Sauce with Vince Staples. I Can Make It with Rhapsody.
Yeah, let's listen to I Can Make It. Yeah, because I love rap. Shout out to Rhapsody.
All right, man. Well, introduce the record, brother.
This is off my new project, New Beginnings. This is I Can Make It featuring the homie Rhapsody.
And listen, y'all go get that New Beginnings, man. It's out right now. Reason is really, really, really dope. Like
That's
the
love.
type of hip hop that I grew up on, that I love, actual spitters that got great song concepts. That's Reason.
That's love. I appreciate it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's Reason. It's the Breakfast Club. Come on.